Hello, all. A very good afternoon. Have you noticed that every industrial revolution has changed kind of certain tools, but artificial intelligence in itself has changed the way thinking happens? So, welcome to this artificial intelligence session. For the next 2 hours, I'll be connecting you to the tools of artificial intelligence. This is C.A. Aishwarya Mutha, and to give you a brief introduction, I am very closely associated with teaching, that being my passion. I am also related and connected with the banks for compliance related work. I have also been working in the fields of taxation and law. I have been closely associated with the students for career counseling and guidance. I am also a digital finance content creator and I write articles as well. So, I have also been associated with ICI on various platforms delivering various sessions. So, today I'm more than happy to get connected to you because I know you understand that calculators came, but they didn't replace chartered accountants. Then came different tools, Excel, which didn't replace chartered accountant. Now, artificial intelligence, that too won't replace chartered accountants. But yes, chartered accountants knowing artificial intelligence, you know that better. So let me first make it clear that artificial intelligence is not our competitor. In fact, it is a productivity booster. So let's invest the next 2 hours into learning deeply what is artificial intelligence and its terminology. So I'll quickly get you to the screen where we'll discuss the theory part. All right. Now, very briefly moving, we are into the industry 4.0, where we are dealing with different things like Internet of Things, blockchain technology, and the revolution from industry 1 to industry 4. And we have industry 5 and 6. So you see the 9 pillars of technological advancement. We have seen horizontal vertical integration, we have internet of things, cyber security, cloud features, supply chain, big data analysis, all these words that we actually hear on an everyday basis. But well, what's artificial intelligence? Now, before we go into this textbook theory, it simply means artificial intelligence is what humans can think, machines thinking like humans, and they're going to give you the desired outcome or output if you give them the desired input. Now, how is that to be done? Well, why is it different from traditional computing? Remember the good olden days when computers were introduced. And how many people really thought that not many people would turn from manual to computing system? But today you see the age. Have you ever seen anyone not having a computer? That does not exist today. But what's the significant difference? Why is this age or this revolution of artificial intelligence different from that of computer age? Well, this small diagram explains it all. So initially, the computer was given data and program. And with this data entry, what we got was an output. But artificial intelligence has changed. In artificial intelligence, what we give to the computer is data and what output we expect. Now, it is the thinking part that the computer itself does. That is what is the artificial intelligence, and it creates the program. Remember, you required coders or developers to develop something for your website, but that doesn't exist anymore because we have artificial intelligence who's going to do all the thinking part and provide us the necessary output. Well, now if we look at artificial intelligence, it means literally mimicking the human intelligence. So what does a human require, or what does he actually have? He has logic, correct? So this artificial intelligence is nothing but using the human logic to develop the kind of output required. A subset of the bigger picture of artificial intelligence is machine learning. Well, don't go with the definition. Tell me, what do you just understand by basic English? It means the machine learning by itself. पॉसिबल है? जमाना ऐसे, रिमेम्बर, कहते हैं कि अब इतना वक्त बदल गया है कि पहले हम मशीन से सीखते थे, अब मशीन हमसे सीखता है. दिस इज नथिंग बट मशीन लर्निंग. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज द मशीन स्टार्ट्स बिल्डिंग अ पैटर्न and it builds the logic model automatically. So it is going to understand you. How many times have you really witnessed that, once you've made a search for, say, a particular product, for example, you ordered lipstick online, you're going to start getting those ads. This is why, because the machine is learning what is your need. All right, what is deep learning? Just another subset of machine learning. It means it is multi-layered neural networks. Not going into the jargons, but deep learning is basically when it performs tasks like speech and image recognition. That is where it goes to the micro level. And then we are into this age of generative AI. English say bolo, what is generative? Something that can be generated. What is artificial intelligence? It gives us the desired output. तो वो output हमको generate करके देगा. And that is the generative AI. Now it is powered by large language models. मतलब इनको training दिया जाता है based on huge data sets. Okay, billions and billions of books, articles, newspaper, write up. This is fed into the computer so that it understands the entire terminology, and then it is going to give you anything: shairi, poems, articles, draft replies, summaries, everything and anything that you desire. That is generative AI, and that's exactly the age where we are living. All right. So if you've seen the picture format, this is how it looks. Artificial intelligence, bada bhai, and it has some certain subsets like machine learning, deep learning, conversational AI, LLM. सुना हमने? नहीं. Bro, it's LLM, large language model. English itself, large is very large, बहुत बड़ा. Okay. Language is, the mode of communication, and model. So these are large language models, meaning they are fed with a lot of data. बहुत vast data set होता है, which is given to these, on which these models are trained. And what's NLP? NLP कभी सुना है? English, let's go to the context of English. So that is natural language processing. मतलब इंसान अपनी ही भाषा में बात करेगा, but the machine is still going to understand. How interesting. It means you are going to talk in your very language. जैसे give me the date, give me the schedule or routine that I must follow today. And ChatGPT or any other tool is going to reply to you. Yes. Why? Because it is learning the natural language that a human being is speaking or understanding. So, this is the age where we are living, where the natural language of a human being is going to be understood by the machine, and it is going to give us the desired output. All right. So you see now there's a lot of interesting thing. Now this is how the generative AI works. It takes the input, it analyzes, it learns. Then from this learning, it creates, not just create. It is going to do the refining thing, and then it is going to produce the new content. So you'll be surprised, when you start using ChatGPT or Perplexity, Claude, all these tools, and you ask them something and they give you like interesting answers. This is why, because of the models that they are trained with. Now, what is generative AI and traditional AI? Only one simple example and you'll understand everything. Generative AI, like we said, is generating. It means innovating. So it's like a chef who innovates new dishes. While traditional AI is nothing but using the same recipes. Okay, so we are into the age of generative AI. All right. Okay, now quickly let's go through the stages. We want to cover a little more theory so that we understand all the use cases very properly. All right, so I want complete attention because I'm sure you are here to learn, and to us, you're going to actually save every day by just learning today. Okay, so what is narrow AI, general, and super AI? Narrow AI, simple, weak AI. For example, one sided. When I say, hey Siri, play this song, Siri listens to me and plays. That's narrow AI. What's generative AI? Come on, you're giving me the correct example. We just saw, for example, everyone must have used Gemini, correct? To create that photo. That is nothing but generative AI. What do you think will be super AI, also known as strong AI? It is when in future there would be literally models which are self-developed. For example, do you see super AI examples? It means self-evolving AI chartered accountants. Okay, they're going to learn by themselves, and this future is not really very far. All right, so that is super AI. Now we've discussed NLP. Now we're going to see something which is very interesting, prompt engineering. But before that, I think let's take up a use case. Okay, ready everyone? All right. So for the first use case, I want you all to open ChatGPT. Now, if I were to show you how to open ChatGPT, all I do is I go to Google, I write ChatGPT, I select. Now remember, since I've already logged in using my email ID, it's opening, but you might have to enter your email ID to get yourself logged in. Second thing, always remember, confidentiality, data privacy, all of this is very, 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 very important. Therefore, while using any artificial intelligence tool, what you are required to do is go with the safety measures. And the first one being that you have to create your new email ID which you will be using for all these AI tools. Why so? Because our previous IDs may be connected to a lot of banks, has a lot of data, has a lot of passwords, and to keep them safe and protected, we're going to make a new email ID. So, number one, I think you've created your new email ID and you are going to log in with the same. All right. So, now that we've come here on the Chat GPT screen, what we are going to do is let me tell you before this many times all those who've learned or used in any case any of the tools might say कि कभी कभी ना ये कुछ भी आंसर देता है he it just doesn't answer the way I wanted. Now remember, any of these tools are only going to give you the kind of output the way you've given the input. इसलिए अगर हमारा input ही गलत है incomplete है then it is going to hallucinate you. Write down this word hallucination. It means समझो ना भूल भुलैया भूल भुलैया type. Okay, it is not going to give you the desired result if your desired input is not correct. All right. So how do I train this? How do I train this? All right. So do you see this? So this is my name. I go here. I go to personalization, and in personalization, I go custom instructions. Now for you to see clearly, here. So what we are going to do is we are going to use our chat GPT and we are going to make it personalized, customized. So why is this important? Okay, let me tell you why is this important. Because chat GPT can do literally anything, okay, or any AI tool can do anything because it is being fed with a lot of data. For example, it can give you instructions in the case of a student, it can give you instructions as an expert, it can give you instructions or it can answer to you as a teacher, as a trainer, as a developer, any. So in order to get the correct kind of information, you are required to give him the instructions. What is he expected to do? All right, so very quickly, we're going to just run through this where we are saying we are asking him to act as a expert chartered accountant. So we are defining its role, and we are also saying that I'm going to use your replies to offer professional advisory and consulting services. I want you to provide responses in professional tone. So basically, अगर हम एक सेकंड की भूल भी जाए, tell me what would you like to expect. So if I were there, I would expect that he gives me the best of the data. Accuracy cannot be compromised anywhere. So I want him to verify the data before he gives it. But just tell me, is his verification sufficient or we need to verify? Always remember, no matter which artificial intelligence tool you use, you must always verify. Okay? Point to remember. इसके पहले का point, that email ID, it has to be new one. All right. So here I expect him to answer in a very appropriate tone. Number three, I expect him to give me all the updated details. Number four, I want him to understand that I am going to present this to someone. For example, if I am a teacher, I may be making notes for the students. So he cannot use a lot of jargons. So these are kind of instructions जैसे हम अपने आर्टिकल को दे सकते थे या एम्प्लॉय को बोलते थे कि तुम ये काम ना बिल्कुल ऐसे ही करना इन दिस सीक्वेंस इन दिस फ्लो इन दिस फॉर्मेट एग्जैक्टली we are supposed to tell ChatGPT or AI tools what kind of work is he expected to do. All right. So I will just quickly get you through this. Always use Python code, appropriate calculators to perform the task relating to arithmetic, mathematics, and accounting calculation. Reply must be clear and professional. View the responses with the latest provisions. I've also given him certain websites to be checked: income tax, GST, CBIC. Okay, ensure that the advice reflects most current position of law. Law keeps changing. There are amendments. There are updates. So it is necessary that he checks the current position. and for any tax accounting calculators, present findings, wherever logic is required, I expect that the logic has to be given. All right, so I'm going to simply do this. I'm going to simply copy this, and here, do you see custom instructions? Custom instructions, all right. So what is custom instructions? Custom instructions is basically I am expecting it to, give me more customized data. Now it is going to go into this frame and give me all the answers. All right, so I'm just simply going to select this and I'm going to paste my data. All right. So with this, it is going to give me very, very detailed answers. All right. Now, this is one of the, custom instructions, very important. Now, what happens is whenever I post something, ChatGPT is going to think on these lines. So this is going to make my output even better. Okay. क्या काम होएगा? Come on, you know this word. Hallucination. All right. So you've got this right. Now, another information. Okay. I will exit this for now because I've already saved the data, but you save. I have saved something different, some more additions. All right. Now, what I want you to understand is that we just discussed these are large language models. With the English context, you told me कि large language मतलब बहुत data दिया है. Correct. Now, imagine इनको ये data मिलता कहाँ से है? यूजर्स लाइक यू एंड मी, हम जो भी डेटा इस पे डालते हैं, दिस इज व्हाट चैट जीपीटी इज गोइंग टू टेक एंड इम्प्रूव इट्स मॉडल. बट डू यू थिंक कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी समथिंग, तो एक बात ये है कि अगर मैंने अपलोड किया तो मेरा क्लाइंट का डेटा जाएगा, एंड सेकंड थिंग इज कि अगर ना करूँ तो मुझे आउटपुट ही नहीं मिलेगा. व्हाट डू आई डू? सेफ्टी मेजर्स. So do you see this improve the model for everyone? Let's quickly check. What does it say? It allows your content to be used to train our models, which makes ChatGPT better for you and everyone who uses it. कोई समाज सेवा नहीं करनी अभी. So simply what you're supposed to do is put this off, meaning that please do not use my data to train your models. चैट जीपीटी के पास बहुत सारे सोर्सेस हैं, उन सोर्सेस के पास जाके वो अपना डेटा ले लेगा. ओके, so please understand that using these tools requires a lot of safety things to be also taken into consideration. इसलिए बस सीखो मत, make sure that you understand very properly what settings are required to be done so that we don't misuse this or our data is not leaked and we are safe. All right, so I hope you've made these settings and it was great to know how this works. All right, now let's quickly take a use case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at CAGPT. Do you know CAGPT? Institute of Chartered Accountants अपने भी GPTs है. All right, so I will quickly show you. I'm going to log in. Okay. Once I have logged in, I'm going to just verify this quickly. All right. Now, oh, this is like the khajana. Okay. CAGPT list. All right. Now you see, practicing has become, going into any field, even post qualification. Referring these GPTs is going to make your work so much easier. So we have accounting standard boards and so many of them, digital accounting and assurance board. So right now I'm going to use direct tax committee. Okay. So I hope you've understood how you can access here. I've just simply showed you. Okay. Now, once I'm here, now let me do a use case with you. Income tax notice. कितनी बार देखी है? बहुत बार. Okay. So what I'm going to do is there is an income tax notice. Okay. So I'll quickly show you what the notice is. ऐसे नहीं बोलना है कि मैम डाल दो प्रॉम्प्ट आ जाएगा रिप्लाई. फर्स्ट यू मस्ट नो व्हाट इट इज. ओके, सो दिस इज डेट, दिस इज दिस दास दास. ओके, टू एक्स वाई जेड क्यों सच में XYZ? कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी. ओके. All right, so assessment here is this. Now it talks about reference to the assessment. Section 147, it says 30 days के अंदर filing करना. Details of income escaping assessment. So there are certain income escaping assessment that has been identified by the officer. Okay, it says there is underreporting of income from house property for 50,000. Undisclosed bank interest है, interest 50,000 का था, which has not been reported in the ITR, or unaccounted bank business receipts है for 10 lakhs. Now they say opportunity to respond ये हो सकता है, consequences of non compliance क्या है, and submission instructions देने हैं. All right, so we're not going to read it in a lot of detail due to the time constraints, but I hope you've understood what is expected. All right, now what are you expected? ये notice तुमको आया, but so once this notice comes, you are expected that you reply to this notice. तो वो अब अपने असिस्टेंट को काम पे लगाते हैं. Who's your assistant? यही यही. Yes. So I go to chat GPT, I paste this, okay? Direct access GPT. Now I need to tell him something, ना क्या करेगा वो सिर्फ नोटिस देख के. Alright, so I'm going to tell him what I expect this to be, to do. Alright, so I'm going to use this in CA chat GPT. क्या करे? Copy paste? बिल्कुल नहीं, पहले पढ़ो. Okay. So लॉजिक से पहले बोलते हैं. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting a very formal reply. मेरा कुछ स्टाइल होगा, we call honorable sir. We have to quote all the references. उसके बाद we need to give certain judgments. हमको हमारे फेवर के पॉइंट्स डालने हैं. कुछ उनके फेवर में रेवेन्यू के फेवर में होगा. मे बी वील हैव टू काउंटर दोज. ओके. So I expect a very detailed, proper draft to be written, which maybe I can just, formatted, okay, which I can just use. I have to go through. Remember, Chat GPT can make mistakes. दिखाया क्या मैंने आपको? नहीं ना? Okay. कहाँ गया? इसमें नहीं दिख रहा है. But there is always a note at the end saying Chat GPT can make mistakes. गजब है. ओके. विल यू एवर हायर एनीवन हु सेज कि आई कैन मेक मिस्टेक्स? नेवर ना. फिर भी हम कितना रिलाई करते हैं इस पे. सो एनीवेज, it is important that you verify the same. Okay, so quickly we're going to just read through it. So what I say is draft a formal and detailed reply to income tax office. Understand your under the supervision of commissioner of income tax. Okay, and we are the authorized representative. Reply कैसे होना चाहिए? All the notice detail, number, date, assignment, all of that. The response has to be very, very professional, respectful, legally appropriate tone, consistent with the standard communication. अब इनकम फ्रॉम हाउस प्रॉपर्टी है, उसमें हमको बोलना है द सेम शैल नाउ बी इनकॉर्पोरेटेड. रह गया था हमारे एंड से, सो वी आर गोइंग टू incorporate that. Bank interest in AIS, we are saying that what is reflected in the AIS that does not reflect in the client's bank statement. So there is an error on the part of the bank. And bank receipts, we have already shown it into other sources, therefore, because it is not in the nature of business. Okay, it has to be a very polite submission, bona fide cooperation hona chahiye, and consider the above expressions favorably. So at the end, ensure that draft uses formal like your honor, learned assessing officer, and it has to be very precise, coherent, and formatted. All right. So I hope you've understood all of this. So let's quickly अब करते हैं ना कॉपी पेस्ट. अब तो करना पड़ेगा ना, अभी तो हमने डिस्कस किया है. या हम्म चलो फटाफट से कॉपी किया. आई गो. आई ऑलरेडी ये हमने नोटिस का कॉपी पेस्ट किया है एंड आई से शूट. So I give my word to Direct Tax GPT. I'm asking it to please draft a formal reply. Now tell me, why didn't we do this into Chat GPT? सी वन थिंग रिमेम्बर, जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना वी हैव टू गो इनटू स्पेशलाइजेशन, तो हर टूल का एक स्पेशलाइजेशन है. अब डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस में ज्यादा एफिशिएंट, ज्यादा करेक्ट, ज्यादा कॉन्क्रीट आंसर आएगा. बराबर है, बिकॉज डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस हैव बीन ट्रेन्ड ऑन दोज मॉडल्स विच स्पेसिफिकली रिलेट टू इनकम टैक्स या फिर डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस. सो वन थिंग टू रिड्यूस हेल्यूसिनेशन या फिर आपके आंसर्स करेक्ट आए, इसके लिए व्हाट यू हैव टू रिमेम्बर इज कि always try to make sure that this kind of tools that you use are correct, or they are the ones that are actually specialized or capable for that particular thing. That is going to give you a lot of improvised version in the output. चलो हम बात करें तब तक तो रेडी हमारा रिप्लाई. पहले कितना टाइम लगता था? रिमेम्बर दोज डेज. ओके. So this is how the reply has come to the learned of assessing officer. All the details under the kind supervision of notice. हमने ही बोला था ना, notice number, date, assessment, सब कुछ देना. Okay. Now it has come. We the undersigned. हमने बोला था we are the authorized representative. So it has given the same. All right. Now point wise submission दिया है. Income from house property में it says the omission has occurred due to an inadvertent oversight. Very professional language. All right, and without any malified intention. So we did not intend to hide the tax income or anything. All right, then bank interest reflected. It has say it is not reflecting. The discrepancy appears to be attributable to a probable reporting error. And all the details that we've mentioned. Thank you, name, authorized, all of this. क्या करना है अभी आपको? इतना भी कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं. Here you see, you have this option to copy. Bus, simply copy this and yeah, and that's it. Paste it into your module. Okay. All right. All right. So, okay. So I think everyone has now understood at least a tidbit what kind of magic it is creating. And okay, now that we are done with this, let us see another use case. Okay. Uh, Very interesting use case. All right. So for this, we are going to use another tool. Remember, every tool has its speciality. तो जितना आप special use करेंगे ना, उतना better आपके लिए रहेगा. All right. So I am going to go to Claude. Okay. Claude के पास जाएंगे. So this is how you're going to use Claude. All right. Claude के पास गए. We say Claude को sign in. Okay. So it says good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. Now what we are going to do is हमारे पास एक बहुत बड़ा केस है. वी हैव अ ट्रायल बैलेंस एंड क्या करते हैं ट्रायल बैलेंस का. हम्म. फाइनेंशियल्स बनाते हैं. ओहो. ऑलराइट, सो दिस इज द कंपनी. इट हैज द फाइनेंशियल्स. छोटी कंपनी है बिल्कुल. एंड दिस इज द इक्विटी एंड लायबिलिटी. ओके, दीज आर द असेट्स. ओके, करंट असेट्स, ऑल द डेटा. ठीक है. ये हमारे पास ओपनिंग, डेबिट, क्रेडिट एंड क्लोजिंग बैलेंस है. ऑलराइट. Okay, now what I expect is कि from this data, I want the financials to be made. So what I do is I take this trial balance, I go to Claude, and what I tell Claude. So I talk to Claude saying, yeah. So I'm going to ask him to do two things. Okay. Number one is to prepare complete financial statements in Excel with full notes to accounts as per Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013 with full Ind AS compliance in tabular format from this trial balance. Tabular format be I'm giving the specific requirement of how I want the output. The more clear you are, the more advanced or correct output it is going to give. And not just this. अभी तक हमने ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट बैलेंस शीट्स बहुत देखी, बट दिस टाइम आई एम दैट मैं ना अपने मैनेजमेंट को प्रॉपरली ऑन अ बिग स्क्रीन आई शो हिम अ वेरी नीट एंड डिस्प्लेबल डैशबोर्ड, विच different kind of feeling or value addition is what I'm expecting to give to my client. So what I ask Claude, my assistant, इसको बोलती हूँ, add proper UI and UX to all the modules of financial statement. It should be dynamic yet interactive and professional. You are going to love this, the way it creates. All right, so I go here, I say this, and what I do? आएगा भी output. Who will hit the done button? Chalo, let's shoot this. Now you see this process because this is financials. It is going to take some more time, say about more मतलब 5 minutes, maybe just 5 minutes. हाँ, पर अब एआई के जमाने में इतना तो पेशेंस तुमको रखना पड़ेगा. ओके, कि इमिडिएटली नहीं मिलेगा. Alright, so now you see Claude is doing all the work. It is reading. Okay, I have the data. It is building this and that. But to save your time, what I've done is I've already created. Let me check. I have this output. Okay, so this is the same thing I had asked it to prepare. Now you see this is the working, इसने balance sheet का total लिया है. Now, like I already said, you are supposed to do all this basic cross check. You're supposed to see the numbering, उसने correct data लिया है कि नहीं, whether the data it has fetch is correct or not. This is what it is going to give me, the workbook. It is containing 17 sheets. Look at the kind of, work notes in, wow, wow, really, in minutes, absolutely. All right. So Let us just quickly check this. All right. Okay. Mm. Okay. Now, do you see this? All right. So, do you see this is how it is, the corporate company information, table of contents, and you have the dashboard. Oh my God, look at this. Just look at this. The kind of presentation it has given us. Balance sheet, profit and loss, the cash flow, okay, the policies, everything that you've actually asked for. So, as per the schedule 3. So, what is important is you cross check these data points again, whether they are correctly presented, whether they are correct, okay, because incorrect information cannot be shared with the client. All right. So, I hope how you've understood how we've used this, okay, and this is how the data is presented. We can also ask him in the second step, maybe separately, to add UI and UX. It is going to give us, okay, we'll just ask for step 2 for now. Okay. So I'm asking it to give me an interactive dashboard. And okay, we'll check how this dashboard is. Oh, it has a clear picture of what's needed. It is working on that. All right. So you see, artificial intelligence क्या है मतलब what humans can think वो तो वो सोच ही सकते हैं, but because they are fed with a lot of data, they have access to a lot of information, and that is how they want to use this entire data. They have access to the internet, so अभी का भी relevant data they have, everything, access to, and plus they are given certain structures. So the way they are developed, they are built. uh, Now if you see Claude, it is specifically used for such kind of calculations, or developing such models where you use a lot of Excel. Now what we've asked is that make a user interface which is in an HTML format. So this is also going to come up to us, but maybe we'll just allow Claude to do its working, and by then we'll switch on to the next use case. अब यूज केस में क्या करना है हमको? ये बोलता है रुको रुको, कहीं मत जाओ, कहीं मत जाओ. Oh, lovely. Look, it is developing all of this, right? All right. So do you see the kind of outcome it shows? I mean, Claude, look at Claude. The way it has given us the presentation. All right. So these are all the schedules, designs, application. Now, sometimes what is going to happen is, you are going to require to draft it again and again so that you get the desired output. You will have to keep working with it, give it more explanations. Okay, so this is going to happen, but remember that to get the desired output, maybe you'll have to talk to that particular tool for a multiple times, maybe 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, depending on what is the outcome that you are expecting. All right, so this is one of the tools which you can use for financial things. It is going to give you excellent results, and especially with the cases of Excel and things where more of formulas and everything is driven. This can be of a great help. All right, now we're going to go with another use case. CA का ही देखते हैं. So what I'm going to do is I am going to calculate capital gains. होता है ना, कितनी बार हमने कुछ खरीदा है, कुछ बेचा है, and we actually want to know what is it that we have to do as a capital gains. What is the calculation? So see, what am I going to do is I'm going to first give him the instruction. Role क्या है तुम्हारा? टीचर हो, एक्सपर्ट हो, डेवलपर हो, क्या हो? So you are an Indian direct tax income tax expert हो. So you are going to give me an expert opinion. Actual capital gains tax payable with the computation of, अब हम नया एक्ट लेंगे, बट ठीक है, फॉर नाउ वी जस्ट गो विद द 1961. वी हैव 2025 कमिंग इन. प्रोवाइड मी द recommendations. वी आर ऑल्सो गोइंग टू आस्क कि मुझे सेव करना है कुछ, तो गिव मी द recommendations. I sold my apartment in February 25, 1 lakh 7, 1 crore 76 lakhs. Brought it in 2003 for 25 lakhs. January 14 again did a major renovation for the apartment. Okay. So I just take my data and where do I go? Chat GPT. नहीं फिर क्लॉड, वो भी नहीं, फिर नया देखेंगे, चलो नया देखते हैं. So we going to go with perplexity. And in perplexity, I'm going to paste it. I'm going to say shoot. Now, meanwhile, it works. I'm going to tell you what perplexity does is if you want to go for any research related work, then perplexity is one of the best tools because it also gives you the source. समझो ना, कोई तुम्हारे पास काम लेके आता है, यू गिवन सम पर्टिकुलर वर्क एंड टू पीपल कम टू यू. वन सेज मैम मैंने ये काम किया है, सेकंड सेज मैम मैंने ये काम किया है और इसके ये सपोर्टिंग्स है, मैंने ये वेबसाइट्स देखे, मैंने ये न्यूज़पेपर्स पढ़े, मैंने ये मैगजीन्स रेफर किए है. विच वन डू यू थिंक इज मोर ऑथेंटिक? द सेकंड वन, राइट? बिकॉज इट हैज source. So perplexity is known for deep research and it is known for research related content because it gives you source, correct. Okay, so it is completed this into 7 steps. It is going to give you all the key facts. Look at the presentation. You will see Bajaj Finserv. बोला था ना मैंने, source देता है. Okay, if you click on this, it is also going to give you what is written where. Okay, clear tax का क्या, capital gains on sale of property का है. So it is also going to give you ready-made material. Okay, reference material है. Now, financial year wise, it is going to do all the calculations. This is only as an assistance. जो भी तुम working करने वाले हो, stay updated. Check all the calculations by yourself also. Check the year, check the rates. Okay, without indexation, with indexation ऐसे दिया है उसने. Okay, recommendations. When are you going to purchase? So all the data that you've asked for, it has also calculated. Now, what might happen is if you are doing it maybe in a group of 10, सबको same आएगा क्या? The kind of format that you are going to receive will be different for all. क्यों? हम तो same software use कर रहे हैं और maybe we are using the same tool then. But it is artificial intelligence. हर कोई अलग सोचता है. For example, even if you ask a fourth standard kid, what's your name or define something in your family, each student is going to define it separately, individually, differently. क्योंकि उनका upbringing अलग है, उनका approach अलग है, उनकी सोच अलग है. Correct? So that is how this is going to happen for all the tools as well. So always remember. Now this is also giving you a summary of recommendations. Do you see? It is also giving you follow-ups, what it can do more for you. Can I combine 54 and 54 EC? Please explain the requirements of 54 exemption. So, देखो भाई, it is how best you can use such kind of tools. Okay. बट नाउ वी कम टू द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट. हमने बोला कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बहुत अच्छा है, बट वी ऑल्सो टॉक कि हैल्यूसिनेशन होता है, मतलब आउटपुट कभी कभी वो सही नहीं देता है. फिर हमने ये भी समझा कि आउटपुट सही नहीं रहता है क्योंकि इनपुट सही नहीं रहता है. तो हम ये बोल रहे हैं कि हम इनपुट सही देते हैं, पर इनपुट दे तो दे कैसे? सो मेनी क्वेश्चंस टुगेदर. ओके, नाउ व्हाट आई वांट टू टेल यू इज, सो फॉर एक्झाम्पल से अगर मैंने बोला की मेथाने शिकवलं आजपासून, लैंग्वेज चेंज तो बाउंसर गया. ओके, सो व्हाट आई मेंट टू टेल यू इज बेसिकली अगर हम अपनी ही लैंग्वेज में बात करेंगे तो उसे भी थोड़ा ही समझ आएगा, टूटा फूटा. ओके, इट इज गोइंग टू ट्राई टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू यू बट इट विल अंडरस्टैंड पार्शियली. So if you want that the system understands completely, what you are going to be required to do is you also have to talk to the computer or artificial intelligence in its language. वो तुमको नहीं आती है, सिखाएंगे, आज का सेशन है ही इसलिए. All right, so what I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to tell you what is, बोलो बोलो, अरे लॉग आउट हो गया. What is, hmm, what is prompt engineering? उसके पहले what is prompt तो देखना पड़ेगा. Yeah, so what is prompt? Okay, तो anyone who knows what is prompt? पता है, नहीं पता है, थोड़ा बहुत पता है? Yeah, what is it? ये सब हमने देख लिया, करेक्ट. We want to see what is prompt and prompt engineering. Okay, so prompt is basically it is the instructions that you give to computer. मतलब instructions you give to the tool, okay, artificial intelligence. अब जितना स्ट्रॉन्ग तुम्हारा प्रॉम्प्ट होगा उतना अच्छा तुम्हारा आउटपुट होगा. ओके, बिकॉज प्रॉम्प्ट मतलब इंस्ट्रक्शंस अगर मैं बोलूँ, सो इफ आई से एवरीवन कल आना, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू रियली अंडरस्टूड कल आना, पर कब, किधर, क्यों, सो मेनी क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू दैट, करेक्ट? So if you give incomplete instructions, now I understand. So even without demo or without me asking ChatGPT, give me routine. Now you understand that I have to be specific, routine for what, or give me reply for what, under which section, under which act. Okay, the more precise you are, the more correct the content or output is going to be. All right. अब हम बोलेंगे हमको तो प्रॉम्प्ट आता ही नहीं है, तो कहाँ किसके पास जाए? फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन दी अर्लियर डेज वी डिड नॉट नो हाउ टू कोड, सो वी डिड नॉट नो हाउ टू मेक अ वेबसाइट, तो हम किसके पास जाते थे? डेवलपर, कोडर. अब हम किसके पास जाए? सीखते, चलो कोडिंग सीखते. अनदर 6 months विल टेक अप, एंड आफ्टर 6 months आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वुड हैव गॉन टू अनदर लेवल. तो कोडिंग भी नहीं सीख सकते 6 महीना. नाउ दैट इज व्हेन यू गोइंग टू यूज प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग. मतलब इसका काम क्या है? सिंपल इंग्लिश, इंजीनियर विच इज गोइंग टू ड्राफ्ट अ प्रॉम्प्ट. और ये कौन होने वाला है? ये भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस होने वाला है. ओके, सो वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग, द आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट, sorry, the art and science of crafting powerful prompts to optimize results of AI tools. So what are good prompts? Prompt, like we said, is instruction, and prompt engineering is designing, refining, optimizing. बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है. सी, प्लान अ दुबई टूर, इट विल गिव यू समथिंग. प्लान अ दुबई टूर फॉर मी फॉर 7 days, इट्स गोइंग टू गिव यू समथिंग बेटर. प्लान फॉर 7 days, प्लानिंग टू विजिट दुबई इन डिसम्बर, तो स्पेसिफिक दुबई में 20 दिसंबर में जो कुछ चीजें होगी, इट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू मोर. Planning to visit in 2025, I like to visit historical places. Now it is going to give you more details of about the historical places. Suggest me the cost to visit this place and the entry fee, even more detailed. But a very good prompt may be, pretend you are a tour operator. याद है हमने बोला था कॉन्टेक्स्ट देना जरूरी है, बिकॉज इट कैन एक्ट लाइक एनीथिंग. तो इस केस में उसे टूर ऑपरेटर जैसे बिहेव करना है, हु अंडरस्टैंड्स द ज्योग्राफी वेरी वेल. नाउ आई एम गिविंग हिम द नेम, द एज, सो दैट ही अंडरस्टैंड्स कि ये यूथ है, इसको क्या एक्टिविटीज चल सकती है, ही इज फ्रॉम विच प्लेस, सो व्हाट फूड कैन ही हैव. इमेजिन हाउ मच अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा ही इज गोइंग टू नाउ हैव टू वर्क ऑन इट वेरी क्रिस्प मैनर. तो हेल्यूसिनेशन बहुत कम हो जाएगा. प्लानिंग फॉर 7 days, डिसम्बर, हिस्टोरिकल प्लेसेस, गिव मी कॉस्ट वाइज ब्रेकअप, एंट्री फी क्या है, कब क्लोज होता है, ट्रैवल कैसे करूँ, एवरीथिंग. कुछ आपको समझ आएगा, जो आपको नहीं समझ आएगा वो भी वो देगा, बिकॉज नाउ यू आर गिविंग अ वेरी डिटेल्ड फॉर्मेट प्रॉम्प्ट. नाउ यू ऑल्सो से टैबुलर फॉर्मेट में देना, और भी आसान कर दिया. यू आर आस्किंग हिम टू गिव यू इन अ टैबुलर फॉर्मेट, मतलब आपका आउटपुट का क्वालिटी इज ऑल्सो फिक्स नाउ, कि आई वॉन्ट इट ओनली इन दी tabular format, so that it is now even more easy for me to read and interpret. So, without me giving this prompting right now, I hope you can understand कि जितने instructions clear उतना output clear. Okay, आप करना ये डेमो. Okay, for you to understand how it works. All right. Very most important slide of all. This is what is prompt engineering. ये आ गया ना, you can do very well with artificial intelligence tools. So number one, persona, अब तो हमने बहुत बार डिस्कस किया है, करेक्ट? सो इट इज द स्पेसिफिक रोल, कि क्या काम करना है भाई तुमको. तुम सर्वज्ञानी हो, बट विच एग्जैक्टली रोल यू शुड कम इन टू राइट नाउ इज वॉट पर्सोना वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. सेइंग मैनेजर हो, एक्सपर्ट हो, डेवलपर हो, कोडर हो, स्टूडेंट हो, टीचर हो. ओके, कॉन्टेक्स्ट मतलब मैं अपनी बैकग्राउंड इन्फॉर्मेशन बताने वाली हूँ. सो आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू दिस डिटेल्स, कॉन्टेक्स्ट, उसको जितना मैं इलेबोरेट कर पाऊँ, आई एम गोइंग टू इलेबोरेट इट. ओके, then what is my task or objective? What am I supposed to do? For example, if I'm giving you something, do I expect that you write a summary? Do I expect that you write a paragraph? Do I expect that you analyze on that? What exactly are you expected to do? Okay, output format. So I'm going to ask you to give me format, maybe a PDF, Excel, Word, PowerPoint. What exactly format do you want? समझा ना, जितना हम उसको अच्छे से बोलेंगे ना, इट विल यूज आर इंस्ट्रक्शंस क्लियरली एंड गिव इट टू अस इन दैट वे. फिर वो अपना दिमाग थोड़ा कम लगाएगा ना. इट विल वर्क ऑन यूजिंग इट्स ब्रेन बट ऑन आर लाइन्स. हेल्यूसिनेशन कम होता है. ओके, टोन एंड लैंग्वेज. बच्चे को पढ़ाना है तो विल हैव टू बी वेरी माइल्ड, लाइक आई सेड, जार्गन्स यूज नहीं कर सकते ज्यादा. करेक्ट, सो यू हैव टू ऑलवेज स्पेसिफाई व्हाट काइंड ऑफ टोन यू वांट. जैसे रिमेंबर वी जस्ट ड्राफ्टेड अ रिप्लाई फॉर द इनकम टैक्स नोटिस, तो ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन नॉट हैव एन एरोगेंट टोन, तो उसको बोलना पड़ेगा कि प्रोफेशनल सटल टोन यूज करना. ओके, So that is important that you have to specify. You can also say who's your audience. So maybe it understands even better what kind of language is to be used. Scope and boundaries, उसको क्या करना है, till what extent it has to reach, what all documents it has to read, internet use करना है नहीं करना है, documents that we've given refer करना है नहीं करना है. Okay, so we are going to give its scope कि इस area में जाके तुम ढूंढो. Okay, and of course the very best way of explaining anything is by giving examples. So whenever it is very complicated, give an example. Say that I want this to be done in this particular way. Okay, so when you give examples, it understands a particular format या फिर ये चीज उनको चाहिए. Okay, so this is the most important. अगर ये समझ गया ना, this is mastery. ये कर लिया ना, very well to do with other things. Drafting prompts into prompt engineering. Okay. So that is about prompt engineering. Now let's see how can you use prompt engineer. Okay. Now do you see? Okay. What we'll do is we'll go to Google जी, उनको बोलेंगे explore GPTs. क्या होता है ये? In the chat GPT itself. Okay. So chat GPT में ही explore GPTs होते हैं. Now in the explore GPTs. Okay. सो व्हाट इज एक्सप्लोर जीपीटी? मतलब जीपीटी एक बड़ा, उसके अंदर एक और दुनिया है जिसमें बहुत सारे जीपीटीज हैं. ओके, तो भी इनकी जरूरत क्या है? बड़ा भाई है ना जीपीटी, वो सबको संभाल लेता है. सो द बिगर ब्रॉडर जीपीटी इज जनरल जेनरिक, इट विल गिव यू एनी काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. बट मुझे अगर कुछ भी स्पेसिफिक चाहिए, देन व्हाट एम आई सपोज टू डू? गो फॉर द स्पेसिफिक टूल्स. अब मुझे चाहिए कि कोई मुझे ना प्रॉम्प्ट लिख के दे, मुझे ये भाषा नहीं समझ आती है, बट आई कैन एक्सप्लेन हिम व्हाट आई वांट. So what I want is a mediator, okay, who is going to do all the engineering part, prompting part for me. Okay, so you're right. Prompt, prompt engineer. Okay, so when I write prompt engineer, इसके पास जो भी है related to the prompt engineering part, it is going to give me the details. Oh, see. Okay, so suppose I go with this one. Okay, now it is going to give me इसमें कितने conversations किए हैं, the productivity. Okay. Now, once we go with this, let's start. Okay, so it says build a new prompt from scratch or improve my prompt. So you can just, say anything. Maybe I'll just say, hi, I want to create a website, and it has to look very dynamic. It should have all the details regarding my institute maybe. Okay, and yeah. Okay. Okay, so what we can do is I'm going to show you something very interesting. हमको एक इमेज बनाना है, इमेज. सो पहले पढ़ेंगे. Transform the uploaded image into a professional LinkedIn ready headshot while keeping the original face unchanged. Replace casual clothing. Okay. Okay, so transform the image. अभी ऐसे ही बोलेंगे और इसको बोलेंगे apply subtle retouching, smooth, final output must be professionally captured portrait. So I've given all the details, okay? Now this is very, very defined thing, all right? So what do I do is, okay. So now we're going to see Gemini. Okay. Gemini में let's start a new chat. Okay. Yeah, I see. मैं आगे करिए. All right. So now here we are into Gemini और हम Gemini में ना कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग करने वाले हैं. हमने बहुत ड्राफ्टिंग किया है, अब फोटो बनाते हैं. ओके, सो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज वी आर गोइंग टू गो फॉर अ फोटो एडिशन. ओके, तो मैंने ये फोटो दिया चैट जीपीटी में, सॉरी जेमिनाई में. नहीं आ रहा क्या? ओके, तो ड्रॉप्ड इट हियर. ओके, चेंज दिस नेम टू. हम्म. या. All right, so now that we've understood what prompt is and how detailed prompt we must give, let us just try giving one detailed prompt. So I go to, yeah, I take this photo and okay, I am going to paste this prompt. Okay, तो ये prompt हमने थोड़ा detailed में लिखा है. Now, what is the detailed prompt? You can say transform the uploaded image into professional LinkedIn ready headshot, wine color, blazer चाहिए, coordinated with silk scarf, neckline settle हो, retouching करो, ज़्यादा face change मत करो, all the instructions this and that. Okay, and I say चलो अपना काम करो. Alright, so meanwhile it does that. Uh, sort of had. ठीक है, चलो. Meanwhile, it transforms. I'm also going to tell you how to use prompt engineer. Okay. So what I can do here is I can simply tell that I'm going to upload a photo. I want it to be LinkedIn ready and make sure that you give me all the details. And for which application do I want this prompt? Claude बोला क्या? नहीं ना, फाइनेंशियल्स के लिए जेमिनाई. सो यू रिमेम्बर राइट कि स्पेसिफिक चीजें स्पेसिफिक टूल्स स्पेसिफिक आउटकम के लिए ज्यादा अच्छी रहती है. सो जेमिनाई यूजिंग नैनो बनाना टेक्नोलॉजी, इट गिव्स यू फाइन डिटेलिंग. ओके, सो वी गोइंग टू यूज जेमिनाई फॉर दैट. तो हम इसको बोल रहे हैं. ओके, बोल देंगे इनको. Hi, I'm going to be uploading a photo on Gemini. All I want is that it should be LinkedIn ready, and do not make a lot of changes to my face. Just let it be subtle and in a wine colored suit. So give me a prompt to be given to Gemini. ऐसे बात करते करते लिखा तो और आसान होता है. ओके, सो आई टोल्ड इट टू गिव मी अ प्रॉम्प्ट. अब देखो क्या करता है. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज आई हैव टोल्ड प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियर मुझे क्या चाहिए. प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियर अंडरस्टैंड्स उसका भाई जेमिनाई, दे आर ऑल इनटू द सेम हब ना, सब आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस. सो दे अंडरस्टैंड ईच अदर्स लैंग्वेज बेटर. तो वो उससे बात करने के लिए मुझे देगा ना लिख के पत्र. ओके, सो आई एम गोइंग टू यूज दिस. यू सी द प्रॉम्प्ट इज रेडी. Edit this portrait into professional LinkedIn ready headshot, dress me well, use a clean professional background, additional add-on, add subtle cinematic lighting. You see, avoid excessive airbrushing, changing facial structure, fake looking. So what I can do is simply entire thing copy paste and I go to Gemini. Gemini को मैं बोल दूंगी, oh, you see, it has made me LinkedIn ready, right? Okay, with a scarf and everything. Haha. Okay. So I hope you've understood that artificial intelligence has to be used in a very dynamic manner. It has to be used very wisely. और बहुत मेहनत मत करो. That is why we are using artificial intelligence, right? But use the correct tools, use the correct prompts, and use the correct technique. ये बहुत important है. All right. I hope you've understood this by now. चलो. Now let's go to something even more interesting, and I will take you to another application. I hope you're noting down all these applications because, see, what I personally feel is you don't have to remember like all the many artificial intelligence tools that we have, but it is important for me to take you through a few of the tools so that you understand. All right. Now, meanwhile, I'll also tell you one concept which is called as tokenization. What is tokenization? मतलब आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस क्या करेगा, आप जो भी वर्ड्स, जो भी उसको प्रॉम्प्ट्स इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे रहे हो, इट इज गोइंग टू ब्रेक इटसेल्फ इनटू टोकन्स, मतलब स्मॉलर यूनिट्स, ठीक है, नॉट वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, बट दिस टर्म इज यूज्ड विथ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। तो आपको जो सब्सक्रिप्शंस मिलते हैं दैट विल बी बेस्ड ऑन दी टोकन्स, बोलते हैं ना इतने टोकन्स बचे तुम्हारे, या सो दैट इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टोकन द सब्सक्रिप्शन इज देयर। फिर एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट आएगा आपको, कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो। कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो मतलब बेसिकली वॉट एवर यू आर टॉकिंग विद द आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, तो आप उससे कैसे बात कर रहे हो, व्हाट कॉन्टेक्स्ट आर यू गिवन, आप क्या डेटा लिख रहे हो, ओके, सो दैट इज द विंडो। ओके, देन यू विल हैव रैग, दैट इज रिट्रीवल ऑगमेंटेड, या रैग। ओके, सो इसमें कुछ होने वाला है, द इंफॉर्मेशन इट इज गोइंग टू टेक selected information and then it is going to give you the output. So these terminologies are very closely related. This is all based on which the artificial intelligence functions. Now we are going to come to a very interesting thing where we've said tata bye bye to long back made PowerPoint presentations. So Gamma is something which is known for the PowerPoint presentations that it makes, and it makes classy presentations. So, how do we make the presentation? क्या देना पड़ेगा? बिल्कुल आप समझ गए अभी तक। Prompt is what we are supposed to give. Okay, so what I say to prompt is, now I am very much keen on learning DPDP. What is DPDP? Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which is passed in 2023. Now, with data being so much digital, it is very important that this data is safe, it is stored, it is compliant. So there is this DPDP Act. Now, if I want to understand a little more about the DPDP Act, what I say is, मैं ऐसे पढ़ूँ उससे अच्छा तो I ask कि give me one slide, okay, a nice slide, and this is how I'm going to give certain instructions. ओके, तो पहले इंस्ट्रक्शंस कॉपी करे कि पढ़े? पढ़े। ओके, so I'm going to ask him to create a presentation on the DPDP Act and highlight to me the key provisions, objectives, implications. Okay, now presentation should include what? Overview क्या है उसका, background, scope, purpose, certain key definitions and important concepts, major provisions क्या है, what are the rights of data, principles, penalties, how is it relevant to the chartered accountants? Highlight me this, because the chartered accountant is the fiduciary who is taking and responsible for the client data. So what is the specification or relevance for a chartered accountant? What are the practical implications, data security measures kya hai, and then finally give me a conclusion. Now, how is it? Use a professional modern design. It should be informative, compliance oriented, suitable for professional audience. Okay, so this is how I have drafted my prompt. क्या लगता है, मैंने एक एक लाइन लिखा है? अभी तो सीखे हम प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियर, उसको जाके बोलो ना आपको जो चाहिए. So, alright, so when I go to Gamma, is this the first thing that you come with? No, you'll have to log in. Log in किससे करेंगे? ईमेल आईडी. ईमेल आईडी कौन सा? जो आपने नया बनाया है. Okay, small pointers I want you all to remember, note it, and actually use it. Alright, so once we come here, we go to create new AI. Oh, look at the option it gives you. So it says generate, create from a one-line prompt in few seconds. Or it says paste in text, create from notes, outline or existing content. और इट सेज कि आपके पास कोई टेम्पलेट है तो वो डाल दो, आई क्रिएट, और इम्पोर्ट एनी फाइल और यूआरएल दैट यू हैव, उसमें से क्रिएट करूंगा. सो लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस, वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू से जनरेट. हम आपको प्रॉम्प्ट देंगे, आप उसमें से जनरेट करो. ऑलराइट, नाउ whenever you have time you can just go through all of this, what kind of details it gives you, कैसे presentation चाहिए, क्या format चाहिए. It has, I mean, absolutely amazing content. So I say edit prompt. Hmm. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to create how much? खत्म हो गया इसका. Okay, so you see cards have been exhausted. All right, no problem, but once this is done, 22, so we'll try for 8. कितने कार्ड्स बनेंगे? Oh, okay. So I will just quickly show you the earlier presentations that we've made, already stored. ओके, तो सो मेनी ऑफ दीज, चलो लास्ट वाला देखते हैं, हम डीपीडीपी पे ही बनाने वाले थे, सो सेम कंटेंट आई गिवन इट. By the way, even if the tokens or cards have been exhausted here, I've used it for a multiple times. And let me tell you that, all these apps that we've discussed, free version भी बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं. They give you a great output. The only thing is you need to understand how to put in the input correctly. And this comes with practice. इसलिए practice करते रहना. And yeah, so I will just present to you directly. I mean, the way it presents is very, very beautiful. You can just try it at your end. So you look at these. These are the animations it has already done. It is giving me the overview of the DPDP Act enacted in August 23. It establishes a comprehensive framework for personal data protection, replacing outdated data, and yeah, all of this. Okay. Key definitions हमने उसको बोला था, give me key definitions. Did we see about data fiduciary, person responsible? So CAs are fiduciaries. Okay, data principal is our client, and consent now it has to be very, very free, informed, specific, and okay, unambiguous. उसमें कोई ambiguity नहीं होनी चाहिए. What are the major provisions? It should be lawful processing, data minimization, all of these. Relevance to the chartered accountant, my requirement, right? Client data handling होना चाहिए, or the documentation, compliance documentation. So it is basically going to give you all that you've asked for, and not just this, it will also give you, so see, penalties, everything. क्या तुमको करना है to ensure the compliance, protecting the trust, and this is the last slide. Now, what's the beauty of this is, you see these symbols, you can just literally change everything and anything. Smart layout, smart diagrams. Okay, you can change the theme. Okay, you can add buttons, you can add forms. Okay, you can just give your link if you want something to be seen. Embed apps. You can just connect all of these pointers, and you can just change so much. Add from the template, add a card, add blank card, कार्ड का स्टाइलिंग हो सकता है, you can edit it, you can change all of this. Very many things that you can actually do. All right, very many things. So this is one of the applications which you should really check. You see this edit theme is one of the options where you can just simply select any one particular theme. The entire thing is changed in no time. If at all you remember how you used to do this in the PPT, एक भी कुछ चेंज हुआ तो एवरीथिंग अलाइनमेंट से लेके सब कुछ चेंज हो जाता था, एंड कंटेंट एक जगह रहता था, बट द प्रेजेंटेशन उसका टू पुट इट इनटू प्लेस, दैट वाज अनदर स्टोरी ऑल टुगेदर. So I hope you understand what kind of automation is coming. So artificial intelligence can be a very good tool that can be used for automating, and that is RPA, robotic process automation. So what happens is anything which has to be done, similar number of times, this can be automated. So artificial intelligence is different. It is where it is learning by itself, but बहुत सारी चीजें automate भी कर सकते हैं with the help of artificial intelligence. And see, you see, everything can be changed. सब कुछ change हो सकता है. Okay, you can add new themes, and it is just beautiful. Number of cards you can add, you can give. So there is a lot that you can do using these artificial intelligence tool, and it is only going to give you more insight and more advantage, more benefit if you actually learn it properly. All right, so I hope you can explore this more. You have this agent mode as well. एंड व्हाट्स द ब्यूटी, यहाँ तक तो ठीक है, कर लिया सब कुछ, बट व्हाट अबाउट दिस? सो यू हैव दिस ऑप्शन. ओके, ये तो फुल स्क्रीन तुम कर सकते हो. ओके, हाँ, दिस इज द ऑप्शन दैट आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट. एक्सपोर्ट, भाई, export to PDF, export to PowerPoint. I can just export this into PowerPoint, into the Google Slides, PNG. Okay, so you see, this creates in no time, this helps you share in no time, this helps you store in no time. So literally what used to take days and hours earlier is into minutes, these moments. So this was, yeah. Now let's quickly revise what all we've seen. So we've seen what is artificial intelligence. It is human thinking, machine learning. Machine खुद से learn करता है. And what else? What else did we see? Machine learning देखा. उसके बाद we've also seen deep learning. Okay, we've seen NLP, natural language processing. I hope you've understood. Okay, we've been talking very naturally. हमने उसको बोला कि एक Excel sheet बना दो where we want these details. So it is understanding our language. That is natural language processing. All right, and we've seen certain tools. We've seen Chat GPT. It has a generic data. उसके अंदर we've seen it had Explore GPTs. Explore GPTs में हमने देखा saw Direct GPT, CA GPT का. What did we also see? We also saw prompt engineering, correct? Prompt engineering. All right. So then we went to Claude. हमने Claude पे एक ट्रायल बैलेंस से फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स डेवलप किए थे. ओके, सो वी वर आल्सो वेटिंग फॉर उसका एक वर्जन आना था ना. लेट्स सी इफ इट हैज गिवन मी. Okay, HTML format में. Okay, we had asked it. All right, then we went to Perplexity. हमने Perplexity पे जाके what did we do? Perplexity पे we asked about the capital gains. तो capital gains में हमने देखा था कि how it has used, it gives us sources. All right, then we also went to Gemini. Gemini में उसने हमको एक image बना के दिया and we've used prompt also. हमने उसको properly बोला LinkedIn में के लिए देना, highlight this, don't change my facial expressions a lot, this and that. ठीक है, जितना डिटेल बोलेंगे उतना फ्यूल इट इज गोइंग टू आंसर अस बैक. ओके, नाउ अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस वी वेरी recently seen gamma. Okay, what is gamma? Gamma is for making presentations. Okay, PPT. So it is going to give us all the options to edit and also make all the desired changes. All right, now if I tell you something, if you look into this, ठीक है, चैट जीपीटी, तो ये कहाँ से डेटा लेता है? हम्म, कहाँ से डेटा लेता है? इट टेक्स इट फ्रॉम दी उसके डेटा सेट से. बट नाउ इफ इट इज इन पर्टिकुलर दैट आई वांट कि ये है ना, मैं जो डेटा दूं उसमें से डेटा ले. मतलब आई वांट टू गिव इट द सोर्स एंड आई वांटेड टू डू ऑल इट्स वर्किंग ओनली ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर सोर्स. व्हाट एम आई गोइंग टू यूज? I am going to use a very interesting tool called as Notebook LM. So what is LM? Language model. LLM क्या था? हम्म. हम्म. Okay. LM was. All right, so we've seen LLM, that is large language model, and Notebook LM is language model. All right, so now we come here and what we say is create new. ओके, सेम सेम सेम, सबका प्रोसेस सेम है. आप नोटबुक एलएम में जाएंगे और गूगल यू टाइप नोटबुक एलएम, वो खुलेगा. यू हैव टू लॉग इन विथ योर ईमेल आईडी जो आपने नया बनाया है. ऑलराइट, नाउ वंस यू आर डन विद दैट, व्हाट यू गोइंग टू डू इज यू आर गोइंग टू कम इनटू दिस. एंड द मोस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट, आई रियली लव दिस एप्लीकेशन, द मोस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट इज इसमें आप आपका सोर्स दे सकते हो. इमेजिन इफ यू वांट टू स्टडी समथिंग इन पर्टिकुलर, इट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू सच अमेजिंग रिजल्ट्स. ओके, सो okay, it is divided into three tabs as such. This is add source. Okay, this is the place where you are going to add your source. Source मतलब आपको क्या data डालना है उसमें. Okay, so this is the place where you are going to add your source. Now let's start your notebook. It is going to give you certain write up here. And this is the studio. Studio is the most important and beautiful feature where it is going to give you multiple things that it will allow you. Audio बनाएगा, video बनाएगा, it will give you flashcard, quiz बनाएगा. Okay, data table, infographics, mind maps. Wonderful, lovely application. So let us quickly see what we can add. Let's upload a file. Mm, okay, so I am uploading the Income Tax Act 2025 by ICAI. Now what it is going to do is it is going to take my source. Okay, so okay, so I tell you the concept until it is getting uploaded. So it is going to take my source, and based on this source, it is going to have give me an option in the studio where, considering only this particular document, it is going to give me an audio, video, visual, mind map, all these things on the right. It is going to give me an option. Okay, what do I want for that particular thing? Okay, now if you want, we will just check. Hmm. चलो, इनकम टैक्स एक्ट का हमने ऑलरेडी बनाया है. वी जस्ट गो थ्रू इट. ओके, सो अज्यूमिंग दिस इज द डॉक्यूमेंट, ये अपलोड हो गया है. नाउ it is going to give me all these features. Now you do you see it also gives me a summary, a very quick summary. This it has also highlighted. So what it says, the provided source introduced the Income Tax Act 2025, a landmark legislative overhaul by ICAI Press Bureau information. It is on clarity and ease of compliance. The concept, financial and assessment here is no more there. It is tax year. Digital first enforcement, tax deducted at source के बारे में है, tabular mapping है, it is a tax friendly environment के अंदर, and it is starting from April 1st, 2026. So very, very brief summary about this entire document. Okay. Now, if, for example, I want a quiz, so I'm going to click on quiz. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to, it has a lot of options. Okay, fewer, standard, more. How do I want the difficulty? I can also write a prompt, but for now, I'm just going to go with the inbuilt prompt itself. Okay, so I ask it to generate. Okay, we can also ask it to generate an audio, video. Okay, video. I would go with infographics as well, and I can go with the mind map. So, just briefly discussing. Oh, audio overview is, it is going to give you a audio. Okay, slide deck is PPT. पर इसका एडवांस्ड वर्जन हमने कहाँ देखा था? गामा. So what you can do is you can use Gamma for that, क्योंकि इसका PPT edit नहीं होता है. Now slowly they are going to bring the changes as well, but slide deck is the PPT. Video मतलब पूरा वीडियो बना के देगा? Really? Let's check. Mind map, a very, very interesting feature. It is going to give you a flow chart of how it works. It's very beautiful. Report, it is going to give you document. Okay, it can give you documents like you can create your own. It can give you a briefing document, study guide, blog post. So imagine what kind of content it is going to write for you if you actually put in this document. Okay. Okay, then we have flashcards. It will generate flashcards. It can generate quiz for me, infographics. This is again a very beautiful thing. So we'll go with infographics and data table, Excel. Excel बना के देगा. Okay, now let me just check if it has made something for us. अच्छा, क्विज बनाया है. Before that, hmm, we'll go with this. Beautiful. So this is what it talks about the Income Tax Act. Okay. Now, what are the core objectives? So core objectives is simplification of the language, concise and lucid structure, digital first enforcement, taxpayer-centric approach, and global alignment. What are the structural reforms? It talks about the sections, schedules, chapters, use of tables. What are the new concept? Virtual digital assets, virtual digital space definition, faceless jurisdiction, tax year. Okay, what is the legislative timeline, budget speech announcement, bill kab hua, what is the effective date? What are the different heads of income? The same. What is the administrative framework, power to frame schemes, simplified compliance, example, TDS grouping, robust discipline, all of that. Apart from this, so one of the important things you must always remember is, you see this good content and bad content. देना जरूरी है क्या? Do you think it is important कि नहीं दे तो भी चलता है? Now, see, if you've been attentive, you will understand what is machine learning. Machine learning is, remember we said कि पहले हम मशीन से सीखते थे, अब मशीन हमसे सीखता है. So this is a kind of feedback. The machine is asking me, कि tell me the content that I've made, how do you think is it? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it okay? Is it something that I've made as per your requirement? Come hallucination. So when I say it is a good content, it asks me, what did you really like? So factually correct, easy to understand, informative, creative, interesting. So maybe I say it was informative. Okay, it was also creative. It was everything. ठीक है, चलो ये किया, submit किया. So now my machine understands that I like this kind of content. If I say it's a bad content, it is also going to ask me what is bad. Why? Machine learning उसे खुद से भी सीखना है. Okay, what went wrong, what went right, what is correct, what is wrong. This is how it is going to develop itself, develop the models. Okay, so I hope you are understanding. Okay. So this is one of those mind maps. I really love this because this helps, this really helps to understand the content very easily. This is how you can expand all the nodes. Okay. Most important, most interesting part, you can always download it. Yeah. You have this mind map feature ready. Okay. चलो इतना अच्छा डेटा रेडीमेड मिल गया हमको. Okay. What else has it made for us? Let's see. Okay. Reshaping, simplifying. Hmm. Oh, ho, ho, ho. The entire thing effectively into almost a diagram. Okay. Reshaping India stacks framework, replacing the outdated 1961 framework with a concise, lucid, digital first legislation effective 1st April aims to enhance transparency and reduce the administrative burden. From complexity to, so it has given all the legal jargons, कितने sections है, कितने chapters है, कितने okay, dramatic structural reduction, clarity में क्या क्या है. Okay, so this is how it has made this entire thing into such a compact thing. Imagine if you just paste these on the walls also, it is going to be so easy for you to always remember, recollect, and keep reading. And of course it can be downloaded. Okay, we will just quickly see. Okay, so this is the tax quiz. Would you like to answer one? एक ही करेंगे. Okay, according to the legislative timeline, on which date is the Income Tax Act 2025 scheduled to become effective? चलो, wrong answers only, right answers only. Okay, it is also going to tell us whether it is right or wrong. So it is giving me 10 questions. Apart from that, it also gives me explanation. Okay, so here you see it is going to read the source and give me the explanation. Again, it is asking for good content or bad content. That is it is learning by itself. Okay, so I hope how this one tool can give you so much data, and in such a creative format. You see, this is the explanation. Okay, first legislative tax, here it is explaining you the concept. So this can be such an effective form of learning. Okay. Yeah, so the video is being generated, but meanwhile, I hope you've understood what this entire content is about. Okay, so this is retrieval augmented generation. So it is retrieving the data from the source that I've given. So this is RAG, another concept when you will go with artificial intelligence. So sometimes these concepts, once you understand the meaning, ज़्यादा difficult नहीं है. They seem to be a new word, थोड़ा technical लगता है initially, because artificial intelligence in itself is something which we are learning very new, technology related है. It was never such an easy part of our life, but अब वक्त के साथ हमें भी बढ़ना है आगे. We have to use technology to our own benefit. That is why it is important that you at least remember a few words. चलो, anyone, what is GPT? कब से हम बात कर रहे हैं? हम्म. Yes. Anyone? What is GPT? Okay, I'll give you a clue. The first word. What is the which AI are we into? Narrow, generative, or strong? Generative. So that is generative pre-trained transformer. Why pre-trained? अभी तो हमने डिस्कस किया, उनको बहुत सारा डेटा सेट दिया जाता है. So they are trained on a lot of data set. So they are pre-trained models basically. All right. Okay. So this is the content about artificial intelligence. There is a lot more into this, but at the least, I think even if you understand the basics that how these things are done, it is going to help you in a very, very informative way. And let me tell you that apart from all of this, in order to encourage more CAs and AI into the life of the CA, AIS is happening also. Chartered Accountant ICAI has come up with a lot of initiatives. It provides you the kind of content which is absolutely amazing. It also has a certificate course which is level 1 and level 2. Okay, there are certain resources. If you look at this, articles are being published, there are videos, use cases. You see the prompt library. क्या है हमारे पास? This is the Genie. Okay, so this is a prompt library. There's a faculty induction program. It gives you a lot of background material. Publications, one of the most important documents. So you can go through a lot of publications which are already published after a lot of experience from people who've been using this. So these all materials are only going to help you to stay updated, stay relevant, and ICI is doing a great job into this by providing us, such kind of material. And so here you see these are the publications. So AI and the DPDP era, did we just talk that artificial intelligence now coming into picture, documents becoming digitized, DPDP, that is data protection, is becoming more relevant, and there are certain rules that have come out. So, especially for the CAs, it is important that we go through this data. So, these are the publications. What are the ethics in AI, privacy in AI, all right? And apart from this, so these are the new modules which are coming up. Also, Institute has hackathons. It promotes hackathons where participants can come and display their talent. They can display what they've been doing into artificial intelligence. Okay, so these innovations are also necessary, and being a part of this is also equally important so that we stay updated. Towards the end, I would just take you through a quick roundup. Number one, have an email ID which is new, so that you don't have any chance of losing the confidential data just in case. So have a new email ID. Number two, Chat GPT, artificial intelligence, Perplexity, Claude, हमने जितने भी बातें की है, all of these are tools. They can make mistakes. अगर humans mistake कर सकते हैं तो ये तो कर ही सकते हैं. And not just that, they openly say that they can make mistakes. So use them to their advantage, but it is important that you verify the data, you cross check that data, and then you use that data. So very important. Number three, turn off the setting where you are allowing the models to use your data to train their models. समाज सेवा नहीं करना है. Data privacy is very important. Confidential data रखना होता है. So make sure that you take all the precautions while you are using these tools. Next, use the correct tool for correct output. Not necessary that you know all the data, all the tools available, but make sure that you are using the correct tool for the correct outcome. Otherwise, hallucination होगा. कुछ कुछ words याद रखने की कोशिश करो, because that will make you more, feel connected to artificial intelligence. एकदम नया नहीं लगेगा. अरे ये क्या बात कर रहे हैं? ये वही है जो हमने डिस्कस किया. Okay, so it will reduce the hallucination. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट इज इंस्ट्रक्शन. इंस्ट्रक्शन कैसे होना चाहिए? कंप्लीट. कल आओ, कब आओ, किधर आओ, कैसे आओ, क्यों आओ, ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन. द मोर इट इज complete, the better the data is going to be, the better the output. Okay, so ड्राफ्ट द करेक्ट प्रॉम्प्ट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, प्रॉम्प्ट के लिए तुमको क्या चाहिए? प्रॉम्प्ट engineer. So make use of your friend. Where will you find prompt engineer? You will find it into Explore GPTs. Now prompt has to be complete. We've seen certain things. Rule होना चाहिए. Be very definite what you want AI to act for you. Like, second, give it the context. उसको background दो. किस चीज में आपको output चाहिए वो लिख के दो. Okay, what kind of format you want? What is your kind of audience? What language do you need? So be specific into this prompt, and it is going to make your work really beautiful. It is going to, give you the outcome in a much faster way. Apart from that, use the correct tool for correcting. For example, for income tax drafting of replies, what did we see? Income tax notice drafting replies. We did see chat, CAGPT, okay, direct access GPT. So go and visit CAGPT also. There are multiple GPTs inside that, which is going to give you specific insight into that particular topic. It is going to help you get that data very correctly, okay, very informatively. So these are the tools that you can use. ChatGPT can be generic. Then we've seen Perplexity. Anything related to research can one can visit Perplexity. One can give his data to Perplexity and then take the desired output. Anything related to financials, very strong model is Claude. It is going to give you excellent data in your related to your Excel. You can have wonderful presentations for your company in Gamma. You can use Gamma, you can make customized notes, you can make customized themes, you can change all of that. All right. Apart from that, if you want to create images, Nano Banana technology, like we discussed, is one of the best, which Gemini is using. So you can go to Gemini and create the kind of images that you want. Lastly, you can also go to Notebook LM, one of the very beautiful tools to be a student forever. You can give it the source that you are required to give, and that source is going to help you to that source is going to have multiple options, what kind of content or data you are required to give, and that is when you can give multiple data things. For example, you can give it that give me something called as video, audio. Okay, you can play quiz every day. So this is how it is going to actually give you an edge over learning as well. Okay, so okay, it is still generating a video. Meanwhile, I can just show you some other content. Should we see this? Okay. I think you'll have to practice it by yourself. Okay, it is still generating. But nonetheless, you can always explore these kind of tools, and these kind of tools are going to give you a very detailed insight as to how all of this actually functions. And let me just quickly ask you if you really understood artificial intelligence, because this is going to give you an insight into how to use artificial intelligence into your everyday life. Make sure that you use it as your productivity enhancer. It is going to give you more productivity if you use it in the right directions. Apart from this, there is a lot more learning where you're going to learn VBA, you're going to learn coding, you're going to learn how to use websites, how to use tools to create your websites. So vast ocean of abundance and opportunities is in the artificial intelligence. The only thing is that you have to be ready to learn. You have to be ready to implement, to experiment, because the more you practice, the more insights you are going to have on this. And that is when, anything that we learn when got into practice is going to give you the desired output. So yeah, this is me, Sia Aishwarya Mutha, signing off. I hope you had a great session, and I'm sure that you're going to practice all these that we've just discussed. This is very, very minimum, and still it is going to give you so much productivity if practiced properly and correctly and implemented step by step even into your business or your everyday activities. Make sure that you at least save some time each day by using these tools, and try to bring more efficiency into your work. And if you have any queries, you can always connect back. You can always ask your queries and questions, and it would be great to, revert to you, reply to you, and help you in this process and journey of becoming an AI expert. Yeah, why not? The journey starts today. All right. So this is Aishwarya signing off, and thank you.